What if I could sum up this entire lesson in two phrases? Would you want to know what they are? Well, I'll tell you. It is Dixie Royd. You heard me. Dixie Royd. Well, if you don't know what that means, you might want to watch this video. Hey, what's up, chat? Welcome to Unit 7, Day 2. In this lesson, we are going to be identifying the domain and range of a function, specifically when they are represented in a table or a set of ordered pairs. Well, by way of review, I want to remind you that a relation is a function where you have, for every one x, there is one y, okay? And so we saw last time that, again, in order for it to be a function, there must be one y for every x, okay? In other words, the x's could not be repeated, okay? Well, in this lesson, we are dealing with only functions, and we're going to be determining what is the domain and the range of each of the functions. Well, what is the domain and the range? Well, let's define that for you off the bat. The domain is the x values, okay? It is also known as the input, okay? So when you are talking about ordered pairs, the x is always the first value, okay? That is the x, right? Whatever that first number is. And then when you're dealing with a table, the x is always the first column, okay? It is the first column, all of these values. That is the domain, okay? And the range is the other one. It is the y values, also known as the outputs, okay? And so if you are dealing with a ordered pair, okay, then you have the y is the second number, and then in a table, it is the column on the right, okay? Well, if you want to remember, this is a phrase that you will hear me say often and you will want to remember it. It is Dixie Royd. Well, Dixie Royd is a way that we can remember which refers to what. So the D in Dixie stands for domain. The I stands for input. The X stands for the X value. And the I stands for the independent variable. All right. So we've talked about all of these. I've mentioned all of these terms except for this independent variable, and that's going to come later in toward the end of the unit. All right. And then the Royd part is the R stands for range. The O stands for output. The Y stands for the Y value. And then the D stands for the dependent variable. And again, this is going to help us remember which term refers to which values. Okay, so Dixie Royd. Okay, the domain is all of the X values, and then the range is all of the Y values. All right, and so what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at ordered pairs and tables today, and then in the next lesson you will look at graphs. Okay, so first we're going to start by identifying the domain and the range for each of them. Okay, so let's look at the domain. Well, again, the domain refers to all of the X values. Okay, so one way you'll see me do it is I'm just going to underline those. Those are all of the X's. And then to write the domain, I'm just going to list them out. Now, I do want to list them out in numerical order. Okay, so I'm going to list them out, and I don't have to repeat. If I have two numbers that repeat, I don't need to put both of them. I can just put it the one time. So we got 3, we have 4, we have 6, and then we have another 3, but we don't need to put the 3 again because we've already put it there, okay? And so that is the domain, okay? 3, 4, and 6. And then for the range, okay, it is the Y. I like to just do something different. For the Y's, I'm going to circle all of the Y's, okay? So the range for the Y's is 4. We got, actually, let's go with the, again, we do want to put them in numerical order because that's usually how they're going to, so we're going to go smallest to biggest. So we're going to start with that -9, then 4, then 5, and then 7. Now, again, if you did not put those in order, that's okay. That's not a big deal. But usually when they are written as a multiple choice question, then you're going to see them be written in numerical order more than likely. All right. And guys, that's it. So for the domain, we're listing all of the x values. For the range, we are listing all of the y values. All right, let's look at another one. The domain. Okay, we're going to underline all of the x's. Okay, that is our domain. So our domain, we got 0, we got 4, another 0, but it's already accounted for there, and then we got 8. Okay, that is the domain. And then for the range, I'm going to circle all of my y values. Okay, so I'm going to put them in order. -5, then I got 0, then I have 4, then I have 9. And friends, that's my domain. It's pretty simple, okay? The key is just knowing which values correspond to which term. Domain is the x, the range is the y. Dixie, the x in Dixie refers to the x. The roid range, the y refers to the range. All right, so hey, I want you to go ahead and I want you to do this next problem. I will say I just noticed that this 2 should be over here. Okay, so it should be -3, comma 2. So that goes over there. But I want you to pause the video and I want you to do these next 2 examples on your own. Hey, and make sure you pause it, please. All right, thank you. All right, so the domain, okay, domain, we have -2, we have 1, we have 3, we have 5, okay, that's my domain. Then for my range, all of my y values, okay, we have 0, we have 3, and we have 4, okay. All right, so those are the range. And then for this last one, number 4 here, the domain, all my x values, I got -1, I got -3, I got 0. Those are my domain. Then for my range, circling all of my y's, my range, I got 2, I got 5, and I got 7. Those are all, that's the range. All right, there you have it. Okay, so let's look. We're gonna end by just looking at tables here. Okay, so look at tables again. The domain is the x values. The range is the y values. Remember, Dixie, Roy. Okay, domain and the x, range and the y. All right. So let's, hey, you could go ahead and pause it. You can do these on your own. You don't need me. Just use the video to check your answers. All right, domain, putting them in order. We got 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. That's the domain. For my range, we got 0. Oh, got start with a negative. -3, -2, 0, and 3. +3. All right. All right, for the next one, for my domain, we got -4, we got -3, we got -2, and we got -1. That's the domain. Then for the range, we got all the y values. We got -3, -1, 0, and then 2. Again, all of the y values. Okay. And then lastly, domain for these, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's start. Sorry, got distracted. All right, then we got for the range, we got -5, Got -3, -1, 0, and then 2. All right. That's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All you got to remember is Dixie Royd, my friends. Domain, X values, range, Y values. And we out.